Meantime, you've got House Speaker Mike Johnson holding a press conference this afternoon after calling for the president of Columbia University to resign, saying she's a, quote, very weak, inept leader. This, as a Jewish Columbia professor, says the situation is untenable.
I spent last night speaking with Jewish students. They are scared. They are fleeing campus. They're not leaving campus. They're fleeing campus. This is not about Israel. This is about America. And the university just decided that they don't care about Jewish safety. They don't care about the Jewish students. They are negotiating with suspended organizations that they want to burn everything down. And I'm despondent this morning.
It's a problem facing college students nationwide. And joining us now is Fordham University sophomore Michael Duke and Jack, a New York University junior as well. Michael, I'm going to start with you. You go to Fordham, but you've been up by Columbia. And the one thing that struck me in the comments that you made is that the operation is organized. We've been hearing that over and over again. Talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to me about how the pro-terrorist activists on campus are actually the ones in charge of issuing the journalist passes and whatnot. How is this all working?
Yes, well, Columbia University, they allowed me access onto their campus, even though only Columbia University students who have the Columbia University ID are allowed on campus, simply because I'm a senior correspondent with Campus Reform. I was told I was going to be allowed to go into the encampment, document everything, interview people, and get a real feel for what's happening. But in a video that I recorded and was uploaded to the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform and an article that I wrote, they didn't let me in. They said that they pre-vetted me. They said that they pre-vetted another journalist. I got that on film as well. And they denied me because they don't like the fact that I am reporting on exactly what's happening. I've been on Columbia's campus outside of the gates since last Wednesday. I got back to my dorm room at Fordham University in the Bronx today at 3 a.m. because of the deadline that was set by the administration. Right now, you said that it's organized. I'd say that it's organized in the fact that it's disorganized. No one knows what's happening. It seems like there's this hierarchy of no hierarchy within the group that's on the Columbia University campus in the encampment. And it's just an odd situation that's just fueled by anti-Semitism. It's disgusting.
Jack, talk to me more about what you're experiencing downtown. I went to NYU, graduated, though, a decade and a half ago. Washington Square Park has always been a breeding ground for free speech and protest, but what we're seeing looks wildly different from just what we saw a decade ago. What are you experiencing?
I mean, yeah, it's been extremely troubling. And to me, one thing that I guess spoke to me more than anything is, what if this was another minority? I think the actions that the school would be taking against these protesters would be extremely different. And it's very disturbing as a Jewish person to see them kind of with the lack of care that they have for the Jewish people on campus.
So, Michael, we're watching over the last day the administration at Columbia talking about negotiating with this encampment. And you said something really stirring. You said when you were on campus, you actually heard some of the protesters talking about the space they occupied as sovereign territory.
Yes.
That gives me echoes of 2020. The Chaz in Seattle all over again. This seems to be even more, this is bigger than Palestine. This seems to be about like anti-Western civilization, anti-capitalism. What are you hearing?
Well, there's two sides to this. There's the students inside of Columbia and then the community members outside of the gates of Columbia. The students inside, right now, what they are doing is they are angry because they want to be angry. Right now, Columbia, they're fostering this sheep mentality where if you're not with them, you're against them. And that is something that is incredibly dangerous, as we've seen across the nation with all these encampments being put up. And then outside of the gates, I've reported on it, I've seen it. I've been called a Zionist just because I'm a reporter asking people for comment. And then right after that, I hear chants of NYPD, KKK, globalize the Intifada, and other just anti-Semitic slogans. I couldn't even imagine being a Jewish student on my campus or any other campus, simply because it's just so unsafe right now.
Jack, let's talk about Columbia. I know you're at NYU, but the Band-Aid approach is being used. They're telling Jewish kids, well, you could do hybrid learning, Zoom classes, whatever the case may be if you feel threatened on campus. To me, that doesn't seem to be the right approach to tell people stay home so that you feel safer. They should feel safe on campus, whether it's NYU, Columbia, or anywhere else across the country. Your thoughts on how leadership is reacting to this?
A lot of these schools take pride in giving every single person of all sorts of backgrounds the same access to education. And right here we have an example of how that's just directly not happening. Making a student sacrifice their learning, which they're paying a lot of money to do per year, for what other, I guess, more radical students want to have on the campus is it's not good.
Yeah, and you also said something I agree with during the break, which was that if you take any other minority group and you put them in the place of what the Jews are facing on campuses right now, management would shut it down. And for some reason, they're not right now. Jack, Michael, thank you so much, both of you, for being here.